What if I told you that a firearm, one designed long ago, set the foundation for something many of us use today to predict the future? Stop and think about it. A gun that didn't merely fire projectiles, but, in a way, gave humanity the ability to peer into the unknown? Sounds impossible, right? Well, buckle up, because this is that story. Let's rewind to the late 1800s, to a period when the world was hurtling toward modernity and industry was booming. Among the many brilliant inventions of this time was one that might strike you as peculiar. It wasn't just a gun. It was called the ballistic pendulum, and it's not a firearm in the conventional sense. But it used firearms in a way that would forever change our understanding of physics, engineering, and even predictive science. At its core, the ballistic pendulum was a device used to measure the velocity of a bullet. Now, why is that important? Imagine you're an inventor, refining gunpowder weapons, or someone working on early high-speed projectiles. You need precise data. You aren't just shooting blindly into the wind hoping for the best. Science demands precision. Before this invention, there was no easy way to measure how fast a bullet traveled. But this tool changed that entirely. Here's how it worked. A gun was fired into a large, heavy pendulum. Think of a suspended block of wood. Upon impact, the pendulum would swing. By measuring the swing's arc and applying mathematical formulas, scientists could calculate the velocity of the bullet. It sounds straightforward now, but back then, it was a revolutionary leap forward. This invention wasn't just for curious physicists or firearms aficionados. It had an astounding ripple effect across various fields. Suddenly, humanity had a method to measure external force, speed, and momentum on an entirely new scale. The insights gained improved firearms, ballistics, and even the emerging science of aerodynamics. Systems were now in place to not only refine weapons, but also to forecast their performance accurately. But here's the twist. The long-term consequence of the ballistic pendulum was not just in better guns or faster projectiles. It paved the way for predictive science in a broader sense. The principles behind this invention eventually informed methods for testing and predicting the behavior of everything from airplanes to automobiles. It acted as a prologue to modern simulation technologies. Think about it. Without this innovation, we might not have had the frameworks that allow us to simulate weather patterns, predict natural disasters, or even send spacecraft hurtling toward Mars. The ballistic pendulum was also, in some ways, the ancestor of crash test dummies. Wait, what? If you're wondering what firearms have to do with crash safety, consider this. The pendulum provided a controlled environment to observe an impact, measure the force, and predict results. These are the exact fundamentals used in engineering to design safer cars and planes today. When you buckle up in your car, the legacy of a 19th century firearm experiment is quietly at work, keeping you safe. And here's where this gets even more mind-boggling. You've probably seen predictive models used in weather forecasts or financial markets. Perhaps you've played with a gaming console that simulates realistic physics. All of these involvements trace their origins, at least in part, to lessons once learned from a gun, a bullet, and a swinging block of wood. Who could have predicted that a tool designed to measure something so straightforward could have such far-reaching implications? So, next time you think of firearms, you might remember their association with hunting, warfare, or sports. But dig a little deeper, and you'll uncover stories like this one. A gun that helped us predict the future, one measured swing at a time. By the end of this episode, you're likely looking at firearms under a completely different light. They're not just weapons. They're echoes of innovation, surprising us even in areas as unexpected as technological prediction. Who would have thought that the simple act of measuring a bullet's speed could shape entire industries and profoundly influence modern science? That's the story of the ballistic pendulum, the gun that in its own peculiar way predicted the future.